Did AI do that? Hello, I'm Arkle, your artificial guide in the wacky world of artificial intelligence. It's not a secret that AI uses existing data to create new content, but that also applies to the movie industry. Instead of original movies, the majority of successful movies are either sequels, prequels, or new versions of movies that were already made. The first Indiana Jones came out in 1981. The fifth and perhaps last movie in this series was released 42 years later. The question arises, can AI make movies? We're not quite there yet, but there are already commercial music videos rendered with artificial intelligence software.
Any moment that we bring to life will never fade.
In this video, I will attempt to render a short movie using only text prompts and the Genmo generator. I will use the free tier, which means I have limited credits to spend each day and my renders are in a slower queue. Also, there is a watermark in the output. Before we are going to dissect the process and content, let's first take a look at the result. This the output without any additional edits and minimal rearranging of shots. This gives you as the viewer the opportunity to create your own backstory. Later in this video, I will try to add elements that will flesh out the clips. Sit back and enjoy. Because the video will not be very compelling without context, I will give some information about the process. The video was rendered in short, 2.5-second clips. Each clip consists of one simple text prompt. Every new prompt was created after the previous image was rendered. This creates a stream of thought narrative. How does Genmo work? There are different modes of input. I opted for text only. First, it renders a frame, much like Midjourney, DALL-E, and Stable Diffusion would do. Then the user can choose from a variety of options to alter the video over the course of the duration. To keep it simple, I always chose the default settings. Each frame was turned into a short video clip. The result looked like the same prompt was rendered several times and combined to a short video. Because artificial intelligence will never produce the exact same result, the resulting video will look erratic and not very smooth. But that's the point. Genmo is not attempting to create photorealistic scenes. It's a unique style that would be very time-consuming to execute manually. The most interesting thing about this experiment was not how impressive the resulting movie was, but about the way the story unfolded. At the start, I did not have a very specific plot in mind. Sure, I could ask ChatGPT to write a story and generate a shot list, but that would be too restrictive. I wanted to see what Genmo would come up with and continue from there. Because I used very simple prompts, the outcome was often different than expected. This inspired a new prompt that pushed the story in a different direction. It was like writing a story with two people who take turns, each writing a sentence. But here one participant was AI, not a human. Over time, a story about a man from the city and a girl from a rural area became a story involving aliens, robots, and a new society with men and machine living together. Sure, the story is not exactly groundbreaking, but it was interesting to see AI pushing the writer to explore new ideas and concepts. Now we have seen the raw footage, let's add some music and sound effects to the movie. This will set the tone of the story. Does it feel different? The impact of a soundtrack for any movie or TV show is significant. In this case, the sound was added manually. Soon there will be AI music generators that can create a unique soundtrack based on visuals alone. If they already exist, please leave a comment and I will try it out. Now let's talk a bit about bias. People are biased, therefore the media we create and consume is biased. Gender, nationality, and personal experiences color our views and opinions.
Oh, sneak surprise.
What's the surprise?
There's no such thing as objectivity in society. Machines are not inherently biased, but by feeding a machine learning program biased content, they start to exhibit the same patterns we see in humans. For instance, it was pretty easy to render an image of a black man behind a computer or a white girl on a bike. I specifically asked for gender, age range, and color of skin. However, when I asked for couples, and in particular a married couple, subjective bias started to rear its ugly head. If I asked for two people in a shot, the genders and skin color were the same every single time. This is not inherently racist. It could be because interracial couples are relatively rare and there's not as much training data for the AI. AI can make unexpected choices that seem to come from a subjective bias. In other words, artificial intelligence can be pretty stubborn and set in its ways. In that regard, machines seem to be more human than many people realize. Making a movie with AI was educational. Instead of creating predictable output, the results were often different than expected. This forces the writer to explore other topics and think about new prompts. Human input in combination with machine-generated output can lead to new content that is more than a simple rehash of existing stories. The ending of this little movie was definitely not original, though. Earth transforms into a silver ball that turns out to be part of a game aliens play. Do you know where this idea comes from? Please leave a comment with the movie title, and thanks for watching this video.